Is playing Hawthorn down the Monty Rock, is that one of the toughest tasks, if not the toughest in the AFL in the current day?
Yeah, I think because of the quality of the team, but the history shows they've got a great home ground advantage. Obviously, the Perth teams talk about the Perth teams have a great home ground advantage, but certainly Launceston has become a fortress for the Hawks. So we're sort of obviously not underestimating the challenge we've got ahead of us, but. Now we entered the bye with a bit of confidence, albeit that we lost the game, but obviously a fair bit of improvement with the numbers we had back, so we can head down there with a bit of confidence as well.
You seemed quite more sort of, demanding is the right word, but your expectations certainly went up in that Richmond match.
Yep.
That's continuing now, obviously, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. No, we were obviously heavily undermanned for 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever it was, and it was the same as the last 8, 9 games of last year, and I was pleased with the effort in all those games, really, for the bulk of them. There's 2 or 3 that were disappointing. But I think we've got to get past, obviously, just effort. Now there's going to be a benchmark that we've got to bring every week. But we had our chances last game. 15 points up twice during the last quarter, halfway through the last quarter, should have been able to win the game. So we've just got to learn from that. We're not exposed to those situations many times, but we've got to learn from that.
What did Aaron Hall do in the twos, Rocky, that is putting him in contention for the seniors?
Apart from playing well, which we said wasn't the main criteria, but it was the areas that we spoke to him about. There was 2 or 3 areas, and the feedback from all the development coaches, as well as having a look on tape, was extremely pleasing. So that he'll be straight back in.
Has the bye? I mean, obviously you had a few guys back before the bye, but has the bye helped any other guys?
No, it's made us go back the other way, Ed, because Colin Jasny won't be right with his concussion still. Jesse Lonigan's got mild glandular fever, played with that against Richmond, which I didn't know about. Sean Lemons had a hamstring last week, so those 3 won't play. Sard will be back, Hall will be back, Archie's still another week. So we're in a state of flux at the moment, so we're not too bad, but there's still a few to come back.
Is that a surprise with Colin Jasny, or are you just taking extra precaution? Has it taken that long to recover from that?
He was still a bit, I don't know what the word Doc used, over the weekend, last weekend, he was still a bit woozy, so he still wasn't totally. He trained for the first time on Tuesday, so the fact that it's taken that long to get back to equilibrium, it's sort of best to err on the side of being cautious with it.
And what about Lonigan then? Is this you said a mild?
Yeah, I don't know how they grade them, but the medical staff believe it could be 2 or 3 weeks, so it's not like a long-termer. But he's had some symptoms to go along with that, conjunctivitis and a few other things, but he was very sluggish against Richmond. He woke up the morning of and thought it was just a cold, said he'd be able to get through, which I suppose is testament to his character, but he struggled a bit, obviously because of that. So he hasn't trained yet, but we're hopeful it'll only be 2 or 3 weeks.
You saw the way North Melbourne approached Hawthorn. I mean, do you go that far and playing the man? Or obviously, the aggression needs to be at the ball.
You're a good Hawthorn supporter, Brownie. You're trying to defend him there, mate. That's. No, I thought obviously they were very physical, North Melbourne, but I thought they planned their game extremely well. So I think in any game, any opposition team that you see play, even though they win by 100 points, you can take something out of it, sort of in a positive or negative way. So certainly seeing the way North did it, we won't do exactly the same as North because we haven't got the same personnel. We've got different personnel, so we can play to our strengths on one hand and try and minimise the other.
It's all obviously relative, but how do you think Hawthorn are a bit more gettable, if that's the right word, this year, or why are they sort of maybe struggling to put teams away more this year? You think that they may have done?
I really haven't looked at that. I know it's pertinent to our situation, but as well. But they've had a few players out, and it does. People say that it shouldn't affect, but you've got Roughhead, you've got Hodge, you've had some quality out. It doesn't impact on any team. They've won. I think a testament to their mental strength. They've won 4 or 5 really close games, which if they'd gone the other way, they could be sitting close to outside the 8. But obviously, they're now the character of the group been able to carry forward. But just having a full squad can really help a side.
You talk about the character of the Hawks have obviously developed a fantastic winning culture and everything, and then you talk about like the Richmond game for you guys in that period in the last. Is that sort of show where your side should be and where your side's at? the moment? In terms
I don't
of
think
the-
we should be where Hawthorn
No,
are.
no,
They've practiced that for
I'm
8
not
years.
saying you should be there now, but that's obviously where you
We'd like to get to.
aspire get
Yeah. There's no doubt. And I think every team does. But I think it shows too. But if you play together for a long period of time, that you learn those good habits, you learn those ability to win the tight games, and they've been able to do that. Fortunately, we haven't had our group, only a start-up club, but certainly the last couple of years we haven't had many of our good players play together in a team. So we've got to be able to get that first.
How is Jay going?
He's very good, thanks, Michael.
Speaking of good players, he's sort of...
How are you? He asked about you too. How are you going? No, he's fine. He's trained well. He's trained last week. He'll train this week. He'll train again next week, and then we'll make a decision, or he'll make the decision whether he's right to go. Certainly medically, looks like he's fine. There's a couple of things he's got to check off, but we'd expect him to be able to check that off in the next week or two.
I know, but
No, I was just saying that's very promising. Obviously, I know you've been sort of reluctant to sort of put a time frame.
Yeah, and we're still reluctant to do that. And there's still a bit of boxes to be ticked, but we're still not going to rush him either. No, I think he's got to be comfortable playing at the same time. No, even players come back from ACL injuries. They've had one, got a bit of anxiousness about playing, and he's had 2 fairly serious knee operations, or 3 really. So there's a bit of, he's just got to take it steadily and work his way through it. So even if he gets back in the next couple of weeks, we don't expect a big impact from him this year. It's just a matter of getting his head right and be able to play each week.
I know they tell us, but do you weigh up the pros and cons, what you do with Sam Mitchell? I mean, you've seen other teams either approached him and you leave it at the last minute.
Were you going to tell things, Brownie, are you, to get that Hawthorn jumper off?
I know they tell us, but I'm saying...
Oh, well, we've obviously seen Sam Mitchell play for 15 years, and he's a great player. So, I think at times, certainly as a team, we've got to watch him. There's no doubt about that. If you let him off the chain, he can be damaging. So sit on that one, Brownie. I'll sit on the fence for you.
How big a hole is Cyril leaving there, forward line structure? Significant, I know, but is it how significant?
I don't know, mate. I can't answer that. I think he's missed games before and they've won, so I don't think, when you've got Pioplo and Bruce and a few others, I don't think, obviously a fantastic player, so any of the good players out is going to be missed, but I think they can cover that pretty well.
Just with Adam Sardis, are you issuing for Hawks game?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
No, he'll play.
Just with Lonergan with his mild glandular fever, is there any concern, because it can be quite contagious?
I think it's just a kissing disease, I think, so unless he wants to go around and kiss our players, I think we might be all right. I think drinking cups and that sort of thing, so we're taking precautions. Jesse hasn't been in much, but he's been in a couple of meetings, but I think, fingers crossed, we'll be okay.